You're listening to the Messengers of Hope Mission podcast with your host, Bob Gardner.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Glistening Glass. Glistening Glass is my company and is a residential window washing and gutter cleaning company. We service the northern Hillsborough and southwest Pasco County area. If you're interested in having your home windows or gutters cleaned, now is the time to call. 813-404-2300. That's Glistening Glass. I hope you all are having a really great week and are getting ready for your holiday season. Whether you celebrate or not, I hope that you have a great month of December. And if nothing else, you got the new year to look forward to. And let's hope it's a really good one this year. I know we at Messengers of Hope are hoping and praying for a very good 2024, and we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to continue to help meet the needs of people. With that in mind, I want to share a little bit about what happened last Sunday. So we went out this past weekend, and of course we always spend time getting ready before we go out. We meet right at our warehouse at 12 o'clock. Well, this week we met at 11 o'clock because we had a lot of work to do. Unfortunately, we had a freezer that died, and maybe I mentioned that in the previous episode, but we lost the freezer, so we're down one, and right now we're currently trying to find one to replace it or multiple to replace it. And we are in a position where we have to move things around. So we have turkeys, hams, and chickens that we're saving for the 19th, or rather the 17th, to give out for the holidays. And we want to make sure that we were giving out a lot of frozen food this week. So we had all of those on the bus. We had to take them out of the bus, move stuff from freezers inside the warehouse onto the bus, and move those items back into the freezers into the warehouse so that we would be able to bring out frozen food like ground meat and sausage and things of that nature to be able to give out to people. While we were doing this, of course, we have our pantry right there at our headquarters from 12 to 1, and we had people showing up, and we were able to give out food at that point, too. Thankfully, we had a lot of volunteers because we had a lot of things to get done that day before we went out, and, of course, there's always like a buzz about what we're going to bring and how much we're going to be able to fit on the bus, and this week we didn't have our trailer because it was being used for something else, so we were able to fit everything into the bus and into a couple cars, so we made sure that we had enough food to give out. And let me tell you, we had a lot of produce to give out this week, which is great because that's not something that recently in the last year or so we have not had as much produce to give out, and when we do have produce, it's not in the best of shape. So it's really nice that we were able to not only have a lot of produce, but a lot of produce that was really good and healthy. We also had multiple groups that came out with this week, including 2 churches and a small group of the Boy Scouts from Troop 7, I believe, which was Jackson Davis's group. He was the one that did the Eagle Scout project for the bus. So it's always great when we can have them come out. And we had some individuals come out as well. This week we had more volunteers than we've had in quite a while, which was nice because it makes it easier for everyone involved if they can focus on the task at hand rather than having to rush through one thing and get to another. Plus, when we're giving out the food, we can give a little bit more personal touch, talking with people, finding out what they want, and they get a little bit more choice rather than just, moving through the line very quickly. As always, before we start, we have a meeting. We meet at the building, and before we go out, we usually meet and have a group time where I get to share a little bit about Message of Hope, talk about what's going on, and ask people if they've ever been with us before or not. A lot of times we get people that are new, and I'll ask what they're expecting. Well, this week, the church that was there that met us at the building, we had one church that met us at our building and one church that actually met us at the stop that we went to. But the church that went there and the scouts and the individuals that are at the building, we had a meeting. We just kind of talked about what we were doing when we go out, and we'd be giving out jobs, and stick with the task at hand and make sure you're asking questions and things of that nature. Then we talk a little bit about what's going on with Messenger Hope, what our needs are, and just upcoming news events that we're doing. So we had that meeting, and then I ask for questions, and this is something that I get quite often from church groups or people of faith. They will ask the question, do we give out a message. And I always say the same thing. No, we don't preach to anybody. What we do is when we open the line, we open in a word of prayer. Now, no one has to pray with us. And when we have enough people, I will go through the line, and if anyone wants to pray, I'll pray with them, which I did not get to do this week because most of the volunteers were brand new, and I had to kind of focus. Plus, we were kind of rushing to get everything out and in because there was rain coming. So it was a little bit less focused this week. So I didn't get to pray with individuals, but we did pray before the line. So the question was, do we give out a message? Do we give out? We are messengers of hope, so we give out a message of hope when we go out. And I always give the same answer. I look at the Catholic theologian, St. Francis Assisi. St. Francis would say, preach the gospel everywhere you go. And when absolutely necessary, use words. And that's what we at Messengers of Hope do. We're not trying to give out a message. We're not trying to get someone to convert to what we believe. But if someone is interested, we know that what we do in our actions will relay that message better than anything we can ever do or say. So that is what we do. And of course, if someone wants to inquire about what we believe, then I'm happy to share in a way that is not a pressure situation. I just share what I believe and why I believe it. And that does happen. We do get people that ask. And you know what? I've never been one to force the issue, and I've never been one to shy away from what I believe. But in that, I don't believe that I should be out there, preaching or hellfire or damnation type messages. My thing is really that we love people the best that we can, and love is contagious. If you are loving to others, people will see that, and it will be reciprocated not only to yourself, but to others. Love is contagious. Just like you hear all the time about, these coffee places that have a drive-through, and the person in front of them will pay for the person behind them. And then when that person gets there, they're shocked by it. And they said, well, I'll pay for the person behind me. And so they buy the coffee for the one behind them. Love is contagious. So on that line, I also had a question this week saying that, they don't believe that they gave up the dream of peace on earth many years ago because they don't believe that'll ever happen. I don't know if that will ever happen or not, but what I do believe is that love is contagious. And I will say this, and I will say this to my dying day and my dying breath. Never, ever miss an opportunity to do something good on the road to do something great. Let me say that again. Never, ever miss the opportunity to do something good on the road to do something great. So what does that mean? Well, oftentimes we're out there and we're looking to do that great thing that everyone is going to see, and it's going to make us famous. Maybe it's not the fame that we're looking for, but we want something that we're going to be remembered for and is going to be meaningful for everybody involved. Well, that's not always the case. We can't always be meaningful in everything we do, at least not on a grandiose scale. But we can be loving for those around us. That small act of kindness, that little good thing that you get to do, is so much more important than looking for something great to do. So don't miss out. There's a story of a little boy and his father walking across the beach. And as they're walking, the little boy comes across a little starfish on the beach, and he looks around, and there's hundreds of starfish up on the beach. And the boy picks one up and throws in the ocean. And his father watches him. And a few minutes later, he picks up another one, throws in the ocean. Then he starts throwing as many as he can into the ocean. And the father says, "What are you doing?" And the little boy says to his father, "I'm going to save these starfish." And the father says, "You can't. There's too many here. You're not going to make a difference." And the little boy picks up another one, chucks it in the water. He goes, "I made a difference for that starfish." That is what we're to do. Make a difference in the lives of the people around us. Take the opportunity and do something. Mother Teresa said, if you want to do something great in this world, go home and love your family. And that's where it starts. Love your family. And if you do that, then it is contagious, and your family will start loving other people too. I'm not saying that your family's not, don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is that love is contagious, and our family is more than just the people that live in the house with us, more than blood relationship. That is the people in our neighborhoods. That is the people that we work with. That is the people that we interact with all the time. That is our family. So make sure you're going out there and you're loving your family in every way you can. And if you listen to this podcast to the end, I always say, this is Bob Gardner reminding you to make a difference in your role today. This is how it starts. Make a difference. Go out and love one person and show them kindness and understanding and respect, and that will come back a million times, not only to you, but those around you. Be understanding. Not everyone is a jerk. Not everyone is out there trying to rip you off or trying to do something bad to you. Sometimes people are just having a bad day and they just need someone to show them a little bit of love, and that can turn their day around. So if you're listening to this, I really hope that you are having a good day. And if you're not, just know that I'm here for you. And if I can do anything to help, I'll be happy to help you. And, sometimes it could be just as simple as going out and helping somebody else. You don't have to do that through Messenger Hope. There's plenty of organizations out there that you can help, plenty of different ways you can help. And one way, and I've shared this before in a video on Facebook, but if you just indulge me for another minute, one thing you can do is, when you're driving around, you'll see people on the side of the road often holding signs that they are hungry, in need of money, in need of food. Well, what you can do is go to the store and buy a pack of tube socks. Not expensive. You usually get like 10 in a pack, 10 pairs in a pack. And what you do, you put one sock, you put a bottle of water. In the other sock, you put a toothbrush and toothpaste and a granola bar and, maybe some fruit snacks. And then you tie those socks together. So when you see somebody on the side of the road, you can hand them that. And now they have a fresh pair of socks, a drink, toothbrush, toothpaste, and something to eat. And you've just made a little bit of a difference in someone's life. That is one way that you can go out there and really make a difference in someone's life. So go out there today, go out there this week, go out there every single day and make a difference in someone's life. Love is contagious. We have started our annual toy and gift drive for the holidays. We need new unwrapped gifts for children between the age of 0 and 17 years old. Please consider giving some gifts to Messenger Hope Mission for children whose families struggle even more at this time of the year. We'll also take used, good working, good condition, clean video game systems and video games to give out. Okay, everyone, this is the point of the podcast where I get to make an appeal to you, the listener. Messengers of Hope is in need of volunteers to come help work at our warehouse. We have jobs as easy as sorting food and toiletries, items like light cleaning, all the way up to lifting and stacking of boxes. If you live in the greater Tampa Bay area and want to serve with Messengers of Hope, reach out today. Go to our Facebook page and message us directly. If you're not local or do not have the ability to volunteer at Messengers of Hope Warehouse, you can still make an impact. Messengers of Hope is in need of financial gifts. Donations are tax deductible as Messengers of Hope is a registered 501c3 nonprofit. You can go to our Facebook page and find an online donation portal or get the address and mail us a check. Any amount helps more than you may think. Just a bit of good news that the Messengers of Hope Mission podcast is now available not only on Spotify, but on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and Amazon Podcast. Please follow us and share us with your friends. That's going to do it for this week's Messengers of Hope Mission podcast. In the words of Mother Teresa, if you can't feed 100 people, feed just one. This is Bob Gardner reminding you to make a difference in our world today. See you next time right here on the Messengers of Hope Mission podcast.